We have a huge injury update around Patrick Williams and Josh Giddey. We're also going to be talking about a key adjustment that Billy Donovan is going to have to do as the Chicago Bulls continue on this season. This is your host, Rico Greenhowe, and welcome to another episode of Bulls Digest. And so today we are looking at the most recent injury update around Patrick Williams and Josh Giddey. We're also going to be looking at how Billy Donovan is going to have to adjust to this recent injury update. And so let's start with Patrick Williams. So last when we left off with Patrick Williams, he had some swelling in his left foot. That is the same foot that he got surgery on this last offseason. And so the Bulls elected to sit him out. And from there, now he has been able to go out. He's been able to practice. He's been able to scrimmage. And apparently it seems like it went very well. And he is now trending towards playing against the Charlotte Hornets on Friday. Charlotte is where he is from, so this is very much like a home game. But let's look at what his teammate Coby White had to say and some of the things that Patrick Williams had to say since he has returned to practice. And so I like this article. It is on Chicago Bulls Sports Illustrated, has some good quotes around the practice experience that Patrick Williams has recently had and coming back from his injury. And so let's go ahead and jump into what Coby White had to say. And so he's talking about just how aggressive and getting downhill Patrick Williams was in their scrimmages or their practice there. And he talks about, the team just forgetting just how strong he is. And also, too, I love the last part where talking about he's being super confident, which is something that Coby White loved. And so, again, just paraphrasing that. But that's good to hear that Patrick Williams was back. He didn't look like he missed a step. He was aggressive out there. And so it's good to know that his teammates see that he's looking the same. And so definitely a good sign in the eye test that he looks fine out there. And so hopefully that does translate. And then this is what Patrick Williams had to say about his performance. I think just kind of reiterating a little bit of that confidence and just what Coby White had to say about him. And so this was Julia Poe, and she's from the Chicago Tribune, and she was asking him about his performance and just how he felt out there. And he's just relaying the fact that he was confident. He felt like he was just getting to his spots, able to make plays and things like that. And so that's good to know that Patrick Williams, is just reiterating that, hey, he's come back and he's in a good space. You didn't want him to lose confidence out there. And so hopefully he is going to be able to now really take this momentum that he's had in these practices and things like that, and he can have these things really translate to the game. Because before Patrick Williams went down, I think defensively, he was starting to really catch a rhythm, and we've already talked about the fact that he is one of the Bulls' best defenders. But I was thinking that as he continues to get better defensively and locks in that way, that the offense is something that he could figure out. Because I think with the way that the offense is ran, I think that there's a lot of opportunities for Patrick Williams to now really focus in and just be a catch and shoot player out there. I think that he can certainly utilize his ability to knock down the three-point shot. And he doesn't necessarily have to worry so much about dribbling and making plays out there. Although I did think it was interesting before he went down, there was a game where he had a pretty good assist game. And I think that is where we saw Patrick Williams in a little bit of a point forward situation. And so I wonder if that is something that we are going to see in his return back to the Chicago Bulls. And just before we break into how the Chicago Bulls might be bringing him back, Patrick Williams, before he went down, or actually this season, he's averaging 9.9 points a game, 5 rebounds a game, and 2.3 assists. He's shooting 37.6% from the field. And now, how do you implement him? How do you get him back? And so this is what Billy Donovan had to say. You can find this on Bleacher Nation. This is Elias Schuster, and he's writing about Patrick Williams being back. But he takes this quote from Billy Donovan and talking about his return and talking about, Patrick Williams getting back into the flow and what that's going to look like. And, according to Billy Donovan, this might look like Patrick Williams maybe coming off the bench for a little bit and then maybe regaining his starting role at some point. And then later on, Billy Donovan does clarify that, they're looking at a 20 to 24 minute type of workload for Patrick Williams. This is something that Casey Johnson also followed up on with a tweet. And so let's just go ahead and start with, Billy Donovan and how he's going to manage this situation. And so just talked about the numbers with Patrick Williams. And I think that when you look furthermore into his numbers, like defensively, talking about how well he's done, he's slightly up in his steals. And then I just talked about the one game where he was kind of in a point forward situation. He's slightly up in his assists this year at 2.3 assists, up from a 1.5 assists. So that's been a plus. And then one of the things that I think was really talked about this offseason around Patrick Williams was just him hitting the boards. And so I think that he's done a good job there, or he was doing a good job before he went down due to the injury, because right now he's averaging 5 rebounds a game, up from 3.9. And so that's good to know that he's getting active there as far as the rebounds. And that's something that this team really needs. They need to get these rebounds, especially if we can get a defensive stop. You do not want another team to get another rebound and another shot at the rim. So we're definitely going to need that. His free throw percentage is actually up. It's up to 84%. And that's up from 78.8% last season. Anytime that you see that there's an increase, I think that that's going to be good. Now, on the other side of this, he was struggling missing dunks. He also is shooting a career low. And since he's gone out of the lineup, Buzelis has taken off. And so now, with that being said, Buzelis, I think, is a player that I'm not necessarily saying that you start him over Patrick Williams, because I do understand the defensive aspect. But I think that with Buzelis, he's getting momentum, and I think that he's building off of each performance. And yes, I know with Buzelis, he's only averaging 5.3 points a game and 2.5 rebounds, but he's shooting 40% from the field. And what's most impressive, I know that Patrick Williams is on the floor due to his defense, but let me tell you something. Buzelis right now, he's second on the team in blocks. He's got 17 blocks. And so his ability to really recover and chase down and get these blocks and things like that, I think that you're going to see more of that. And I also think that as you continue to play him, I'm starting to see that he's also getting stronger. On the offensive end, when he goes to the basket, he's not necessarily getting pushed off his spots as much. And I think defensively, that's going to start to translate as well. And you're going to start to maybe see him become a better on-ball defender and be able to fight over those picks, be able to redirect the players. And so I think that if Buzelis can really lock in on that, it's going to be interesting with how Billy Donovan is going to continue on, with the development for both of these players. Now, I think at this point, if you are going to still start Patrick Williams, that's perfectly fine, but you need to make sure that you continue the development of Buzelis, because Buzelis, look, he's had a game against Memphis where he had 14 points. He had the game against Dallas that he had 13 points. And the Brooklyn game might have been one of his best games, where he had 22 minutes, he had 20 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 blocks. He was plus 17. He shot 7 of 10 from the field, and he was 4 of 5 from 3 as well. And he followed that up against the Spurs, where he had an 11-7 game. And so, look, the momentum is continuing. And I love the fact that Buzelis has really improved upon his 3-point shooting, because when he was in not the G League, but the Summer League with us, over the summer, he shot 21%. And so for him to come out and be able to shoot the basketball well now from downtown, that is a plus to see that, because I think he's right around 36%. And so that is a good sign to see that from Buzelis. You understand that he is really taking that weakness and turning it into a strength. And so I'd like to see, if Billy Donovan is not going to think about starting Buzelis, that he at least puts them on the floor together. I think that we need to see more of that. And I just talked about in this Brooklyn game where he played 22 minutes. Look, if you're planning on playing Patrick Williams 20 to 24 minutes, you need to make sure that you continue to play Buzelis at a high clip as well, because I think that that is going to be important, in his development. And if you're still trying to develop Patrick Williams, I think that you need to make sure that he's out there with Buzelis, because that would mean that he's part of the long-term plan, for the Chicago Bulls. And so, with that being said, that leads me into something that Buzelis said, and this was after, the practices and things like that, where he's talking about him and Patrick Williams, they played together out there, and, they won some scrimmages this week. And so, look, Modest is very much a player that I think can work with Patrick Williams. I think that Patrick Williams can work with Buzelis. And so we're just hoping that Billy Donovan, can see this, and hopefully he plays this player, puts him out there as much as possible. You've got to now pivot, I think, a little bit more with this youth movement. And I've said this before, you can't just focus on the winning. This is a prime example, and really, I think, a time where Billy Donovan is going to have to make a real key adjustment moving forward. And so with that being said, I wanted to look at the next piece of, or next update, I should say, around Josh Giddey. And so Josh Giddey, a couple days ago, or a day ago, I think, he left early due to some back tightness. Apparently he missed today's practice, but it looks like he is trending towards playing this Friday against the Charlotte Hornets. In fact, I did see something there on ESPN, and then also too with Casey Johnson, that suggests that he is going to be out there in the lineup, and so that's a good thing. And so with Josh Giddey, I think that he's definitely been solid at some moments on the offensive end, certainly. And I think that, he's been solid in the assist department. Currently, right now, he actually leads the team in assists with a 6.9 a game. And then he's also, second on the team in rebounding. He's at 6.2, and Vooch is leading with 9.8. And so I've said this about Josh Giddey. He's got to continue to lock in on those things. And I think with the scoring aspect, he's got to be a little bit more creative and find ways to score. Hopefully, he can maybe get into some of the back cutting and getting things that way. I think that there was a game out there where when he was super active, just cutting off the ball, I think that he was able to get to some easy layups. And then also opportunities at the free throw line. I think that I see that, he's down in the free throw percentage department. He was at 80% last year. He's at 69 currently at the time of this recording. So hopefully he can continue to take advantage of the time where he's drawing contact and getting to the line. So, and then once more with him, I think just the confidence is something that he's got to continue to grow on. In fact, I got a chance to see a nice interview with him and Casey Johnson. And so you get a chance to really see that, Josh Giddey is a guy that just needs to get that confidence. You definitely need to make sure that as a coach, you want to make sure he's in that the right place there as far as confidence. And so that is today's show. And I just want to thank everybody out there for watching and subscribing to Bulls Digest. Let me know what you're thinking about this recent injury update around Josh Giddey and Patrick Williams. Do you think that, yes, Billy Donovan is going to have to get Patrick Williams out there with Josh Giddey, or not Josh Giddey, but with Buzelis? And do you think that maybe Buzelis starts over Patrick Williams? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments here. And so I just want to let everybody know that we're trying to get to our goal of 5,000 subscribers. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's about 68.3% of you that watch are not subscribed. So make sure, like Buzelis and like Patrick Williams at times, you slam dunk on that subscribe button. This means a lot as we try to reach our subscriber goal here. And so anyway, I just want to thank everybody out there. And as usual, I'm always saying it, man, the Bulls have got to get a direction. They've got to make sure that they've utilized this practice time to really lock in on some of the things that they absolutely need to clean up, because regardless of the direction, you still got to make sure that you instill some winning habits. And so hopefully we get a chance to see some of those winning habits translate on Friday against the Charlotte Hornets. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Go Bulls. Peace.